Okay, so welcome back. We're going to take a look at the envelopes here. We've got an amp envelope and then envelope 2 and envelope 3, which all pretty much behave relatively identically, but there are some subtle differences that we'll discuss. So let me go ahead and again explore zooming in here, and hopefully I get this right. Not that good. Let's go over here. All right, so that gives us our amp envelope and our two other envelopes to look at here in this lesson. So you may have noticed throughout the earlier lessons in the course here that we're dealing with that pretty static sound, and it can fatigue you real quick, or you can get bored with it real quick. So the best way to achieve any kind of subtle differences or movement is to use your envelopes. So you can adjust your attack time, your sustain, decay, release. You can do that all here by grabbing the, different areas and working with them. Or you can also manipulate them down here through adjusting some of these numbers. So you can adjust if you have a specific number in mind here. You can do your decay, and then you've got your slope, or not your slope, your sustain. And your release. And again, that is all with the time. So that's telling us the time that the signal is going to pass over that. So now we've got slope. And that's where we can get into, actually, if you watch here for the attack, I can actually bend that slope now. And I can push it out here with my mouse or pull it in if I want. Or I can adjust here. Make it a little bit smoother, a little bit sharper. So with the decay, you can bend that guy in, push him out, and sustain, and release. So that is the amp envelope. And identically on all three envelopes, we have up here a trigger mode and a loop mode. So trigger mode is going to play the sound once and then stop as far as following the shape of the envelope. The sound isn't going to stop, but the shape of the envelope is going to be basically triggered each note and play through. And then loop mode, it's just going to play it continually as long as the note is held down. It's going to keep looping back through. There you go. Now you can hear it. I just had to get it to the right spot. So that applies to all three. And in default, they're set at none, but they all have the same trigger and loop option there. So let's take a look at envelope 2 now. And it's very similar, but it's got some subtle differences. Let's see, one of the first things, you've got your time element, and you can still do all your same mouse movements here. And the time element, attack, decay, sustain, and release. But what you'll notice is on the amp envelope, the sustain is measured in decibels because it's dealing with, the amplification. Over here, we're dealing with a percentage of the assignment within sustain. So sustain is going to be presented as a percentage. So it doesn't make it perform any difference, just be aware of that. So attack, decay, sustain, and release, again, all movable just like we talked about before. And then we get the slope where we can do pretty much the same things here. So, and we've got, our bendy, wiggly stuff that we can do here. So those features are pretty much identical. Now what changes is we've got a value option over here now. So in this amp envelope, everything, the sound is following the shape from an initial value down here at 0. But now, with being able to manipulate the value, we can move that up. So if we want it to start, up here at a higher value, and say we want the peak to be a little bit lower, we can start to shape that, and we can actually take the final portion and give it an increased value above 0. So if we wanted to finish the cycle to finish, above 0, we can. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's the difference basically between what you're seeing available as far as time and slope in the amp envelope, and then when you get over to envelope 2 and envelope 3, you've got the value option that you can start to work with. So, and again, you've got the different triggers that carry across all 3. So that is a look at the envelopes within the Wavetable synth. Let's go ahead and move on and take a look at some of our LFO features over here. So I'll zoom back out and we'll get out of this one.